What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about SoFi, more specifically Friday. There was a lot of good telltale signs coming from Friday showing that SoFi had a lot of bullish signals and that hopefully we are at the bottom. So I'm going to go through some of those points with you. At the end, I'll tie it all together with some technical analysis. But before I get into any of that, all I ask, smash the thumbs up, subscribe if you are new. Don't forget to take a look at my Discord, link in the description below. It's a good place to be and a lot of good chat. And one final thing I want to bring to your attention, there is a new broker, massive promo just for March. You can get up to 5 free stocks, each valued up to $3,500. Link is in the description below. You just click the link, sign up, you get 1 free stock, again, each valued up to $3,500, and just deposit $1 and you can get another free stock, again, valued up to $3,500. And there is a promo going on. You get 1 free share of NEO just by depositing $1. So that is a very big deal. So definitely take a look at that link in the description below. With all that, let's get right to it. So looking at the intraday chart from Friday, we had a little bit more optimism first thing, started to taper off with the broader market. You can see NASDAQ was down 1.67%. That's at the end of the day. And ultimately, you can see the live ticker that was from Friday. SoFi was down 6.45%. So a very big day. Also 63 million as far as volume, whereas the average is 41. So that is definitely good. Over the last several weeks, volume has been pretty significant. And block volume, 7.2 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds alone today. So I've been saying this the last couple of videos. Institutions have been loving these cheap prices. So that alone is one very good sign that shows that we are in a good value play right now. And that's one thing I really do like, despite of what Bank of America came out, which in reality I do strongly feel is very big manipulation. So like I said, I'm going to go through a lot of things that I do feel is a very good telltale sign that we are at the bottom. But before I get into any of that, there was a huge catalyst. Again, I just want to bring this up, and it's not really factored into the price, even necessarily the after hours activity. And it is this: the CEO, Noto, added 15,000 shares, which works out to be around $150,000. So a big entry in, and a lot of investors love when CEOs buy, especially more so at the bottom. It again shows that we are technically at the bottom. I really do like that, and a lot of investors are really hyped up about this. And so like I said, I'm going to go through some data points, starting with short interest. So short interest right now technically is 1858, down roughly about 11% from 1 week prior. Utilization is 100%. Cost to borrow is still relatively low, so 2.69%. But one thing as well I want to draw your attention to is SoFi did stand out from the rest of other growth stocks out there. Other growth stocks, more specifically on Thursday and Friday, had the short interest actually going up, meaning shorts were doubling down on those growth stocks. But when it came down to SoFi, you can even see on Friday, shorts did close out 1.99%, which works out to be 4.88 million shares being returned. So definitely something is in the water, and shorts don't find it advantageous at these prices to short SoFi. So that's one thing to take away from all of that. I do find that this alone is a very good bullish signal. So in combination with everything else I'm going to talk about, this is very good reasons to indicate that we are at the bottom. So like I said, I'm going to go through some options activity. Options activity typically shows a good consensus of what people are feeling. So right now on Friday, there was $750,000 worth of options being done on SoFi, with 71% of them positive. So I really do like that. And overall for the whole week is around 56% positive, with $89 million worth of options being done. So this in reality is another very bullish signal, especially considering the market was down. SoFi was also down big time. So it does show that the consensus does feel that we are at the bottom. So I do like both of those, the short activity and the options activity, in addition to CEO adding. So this is also adding on to everything. In addition to that, I know some people don't really like looking at this, but as far as from Ape Wisdom, it does look like SoFi is being really heavily looked at coming from an investor standpoint. So number of mentions is at 52 over the past 24 hours. So that is a very big deal in my opinion, especially more and more investors actually talking about it does show that there's a lot of interest. So I really do like that in combination with this. So I did post this on Twitter, but again, going back to it, Citi is moving back into US equities because it sees a rebound coming for this beaten down sector. That's a very big bullish stance coming from Citi, and I do strongly feel a lot of institutions are mimicking and thinking exactly the same line of Citi, because again, you can tell based on that live ticker that I showed you, block volume, almost on a daily basis, there's roughly about 6 to 12 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds on a daily basis. So there is a lot of institutions that probably already have been thinking about this. Just unfortunately, us retail investors investors are typically left in the dark. And by the time when Citi does actually post this out there, that ultimately means that they've been buying this whole time. So unfortunately, retail investors just need to get on top of it and realize that this is a screaming buying opportunity. And I do bring this up every single video, not necessarily because there's so much change, but it does go to show that we are at a substantial discount. So looking at this, the latest round of 13Fs are coming down the pipeline. So there was a new one, a big one in fact, 11 million shares being purchased. So they recently added it at 1824 DCM International. But regardless of all that, again, that aside, there's a lot of institutions, hedge funds, ETFs, everyone and their dog are getting into SoFi, and they all do have relatively high averages. So mid to high teens. And I've been saying this all the time because a lot of these institutions and hedge funds found value at these prices. Despite that, there was no charter news at this stance. So that is a very good catalyst, and it shows that we are at a substantial discount. And so moving on, I'm just going to tie it all together with some technical analysis. So looking at the chart, I have the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. So momentum, you can see number of buyers has been going down a little bit, and it's been stagnant, unfortunately, well before even the earnings. Looking at stochastic, technically there's a little bit of a deviation starting to occur, so red line above the black, and RSI is currently at 39. Looking on the actual chart, we are at the lower percentile of the Bollinger Band. We are at a very pivotal point, and I'm going to touch on that as well. But regardless of all of that, we do have a lot of manipulation that's been happening to SoFi that's been causing it to go down ever since their huge earnings. And it's one of those things that clearly the CEO does feel that this is a substantial discount, which is why he added $150,000 to SoFi. So a lot of investors will hopefully piggyback off of that and go into all of this on Monday, which I do strongly feel that this is a great buying opportunity. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. And so like I said, we are at a very pivotal point getting to it. So looking at some of this, technically on the Fibonacci, we have a pivot point of $11.27, which unfortunately we did break below. And the S1 is technically at $9.47. So that is a very pivotal point. If we do break below that, then most likely we'll trend down. Again, you can see kind of what happened to the previous Thursday when the Russia whole situation started to occur. That's exactly where we bounced off of. So right now, though, we are technically trading between the S1 and the pivot. So hopefully, like I said, all these huge buying opportunities and signals I've been going over do actually develop into a lot of institutions, retail investors all jumping on board to SoFi, because right now it is at an insane discount. So I really like all of this, and like I said, we are getting to a very pivotal point. So just keep that in mind, especially with Russia tensions. That is basically one of the biggest factors that's driving the market down right now, because I do strongly feel that all the risks, other risks out there, at least in the market, are already factored into the price. So higher interest rates and so forth is all factored in. So with all that though, I do strongly feel that this is a great buying opportunity. But with all that, let me know your thoughts on SoFi in the comments below. And if you've been adding, also let me know, give yourself a shout out in the comments. If you haven't already, smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With all that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.